that I fold here. Um, most of the top tournament players online are basically playing a tight aggressive style. That's pretty much my game plan early in tournaments is to play tight aggressively and change gears later on in the tournament. Especially against a lot of the regulars because they're just going to be giving me way too much credit, and I know that, and that's when I'm going to start picking up a lot of pots from those guys. Mavs knows that I'm a tight player early in the tournaments. So him flatting, that tells me that he has a good hand. Flop, another top online tournament player. He knows that I'm a tight player. And when a tight player raises from under the gun, uh, there's only a few hands that they could have. So my thinking is, the very least that I'm up against is probably queens or kings here. Or he could have ace king, who knows. But, I know that he knows that I got a very, very tight range here. So when he raises here, I just decide to fold. And this is probably right after the rebuy period had ended. If this had been during the rebuy period, I will probably be more tempted to just go all in here and try to get, a huge stack. But as it turns out, I just fold, and a lot of players won't fold ace king here. I don't overvalue ace king as much as some players do. I just, you're an underdog to, most any pair. I mean, a slight underdog. You're flipping, but, why flip at this point in the tournament? Um, okay, we got ace king. This guy min raises. I decide to just call. Um, that's that could be a bad play. It's debatable. Sometimes I see players min raising with small pairs. Sometimes they have aces. Sometimes they have suited connectors. Sometimes it's just a pain in the butt. Sometimes trying to guess what they could possibly have. So sometimes I just smooth call in that spot. Not every time. Probably half and half. Probably half the time I probably put in a re-raise, and half the time I just call. But hit an ace high flop here. I see bet. Yeah. Let's go back to that. See what happened. Okay, I had ace king. He min raises. I call. The aces. I bet. And this is probably what spooked me. He raises pre-flop, and then he checks the flop. I bet he smooth calls. So I'm thinking in the back of my head, this guy could have a big hand. He could have aces. So I decided to play some pot control here and check behind here with the intentions of calling a river bet from him. And he leads out big. This is probably a good bet by him. He probably put me on exactly what I had. He extracted the maximum value out of me. So kudos to Don Rain. So this knocks me down to 2K. Still have 10 big blinds. Getting close to being desperate here, but not quite. Okay, ace 9 on the button. Pretty solid hand, considering my position. I'm down to 8 big blinds. I decide to roll the dice here. Mavs is a pretty good player. I doubt that he's limping in with, like, a super huge hand. He probably has, he could have anything. He could have suited connectors or some kind of small pair or something. So I shove here. He calls. He has me dominated. And I hit on the river. Which is a little strange. I remember Mavs as being a pretty good player. Or he, at least he was one of the regulars in the high stakes tournaments, on Stars and Full Tilt Poker, a couple of years ago. So that doesn't seem like a very good play to me at all. Limping in and then calling a shove with Ace 10, but he got it in the head. So who am I to criticize? So we doubled up. We got about 19 big blinds. Not doing too bad now. Next big hand that I get ace ace under the gun. I may have this might be a little too aggressive. There is some handies in the middle. I think what I'm doing here is I'm trying to look a little weaker than what I am, or trying to make me think that I'm weak by just moving all in here. Obviously, it didn't work. Most of these guys I've played with quite a bit, and they all know I'm a tight player. So if I raise 6x or 3x or 4x into the gun, I can just about guarantee you I'm never getting called by any of these guys unless they have like kings or queens or something like that. So that play didn't work, but that was the reasoning behind it. We have a new player at the table, Octavian C. Very good player, been around for a long time. I'm thinking he won a tournament, either WPT or a World Series of Poker tournament, I'm not sure. Or maybe he made a final table, but he's been around for a while. So we get ace 8. I decided to shove here. This is probably a loose shove. I definitely don't need to do this, but there is 500 in the middle, and it is worth fighting for. This isn't really much different than shoving on the button. You can get away with these sort of shoves in these higher buy-in tournaments a little more than you can the lower buy-in tournaments because the players are better and they understand. They're not just going to call you with 9-10 or queen jack or something like that. Like in the lower tournaments, they call just about anything. So I think we do a lot of folding. Blinds are now 2-4. This is a little better shove. There's actually 800 in the middle. I'll shove him with ace king. I don't have a problem with that because it prevents other players from just flatting you and putting you to a tough decision on the flop. Because you're going to miss the flop. Probably 2/3 of the time. With hands like this, and it's just always a tough spot. When you get flatted pre-flop by a player that's got position on you. Ace queen, 41-20. I have about 10 big blinds here. Um, Ron Don Rain doesn't have